Hey there, this is the One Boom, and welcome to a video where I talk about Modern Warfare because, I just don't think I've talked about it enough yet. So today I want to talk about prestiging because prestiging is always a point of contention with Call of Duty, at least for me. I feel like they either give you not enough, honestly I just always feel like they just don't give you enough. There isn't really it's just they always kind of shaft people that want to get to max prestige. Yeah, I know Advanced Warfare, COD World War II, and Infinite Warfare had good rewards, but really I do want to focus on Infinite Warfare style of rewards, and I want them to improve it. If you didn't play Infinite Warfare, here's a brief rundown of how it worked. Every other prestige, you got a token that you could use to pick from their pool of classic weapons. From the G18 to the M1 Garand to the Intervention, you had lots of options. Well, not really a lot of options, but you had a good amount of variety within that pool to choose from. So if you want to get the UMP45 on your first prestige and never prestige again, that's fine, you could do that. It still bothers me though that Infinite Warfare never further capitalized on this amazing concept of giving players weapons from Call of Duty's past to players that are willing to put in an insane amount of time into the game. Because let's face it, getting to max prestige takes a while. It's always a process, it's always a grind, and, well, it should be, and it's kind of fun that it is. And leveling up in Call of Duty is always about unlocking weapons, perks, gear, and I don't know why prestiging is any different. And if you've seen their pre-order material already, you can see that for multiplayer you get these different outfits that are based off of Call of Duty 4 campaign missions, meaning they recognize the previous Modern Warfare series in the multiplayer of this game already. Before we've even seen multiplayer gameplay, we know that you can dress up from Crew Expendable, Warpig, and all gillied up. So why not give people classic Modern Warfare series weapons for prestiging? This would make prestiging more than just a time sacrifice, and to make it better, you could make it so that it is a token system similar to Infinite Warfare, meaning at the end of each prestige, you get a token that allows you to choose from their pool of classic Modern Warfare series weapons. It could be the Striker, the Intervention, the 1887, the ACR, the TAR-21, whatever you want it to be. Meaning, if there's only 4 weapons in the pool that seem interesting to you, you only have to prestige 4 times. You don't have to prestige to prestige 10 or 15 in order to get the one you really want. You can just prestige once, grab that gun, and maybe prestige later if you feel like it. Because I know not everybody has the time to grind out 15 prestiges, 10 prestiges, 30 prestiges, however many they add. But that doesn't mean long-time players that are going to be putting in that time, players that are going to be grinding the game, should be shafted. Just because you don't have time to get the 10th prestige doesn't mean I don't. And if I do, and I'm willing to devote that much time to the game, then why don't I get rewarded for it? Why should Call of Duty keep rewards out of the prestige system for people that aren't going to be playing that much? How about Call of Duty rewards its longtime dedicated fan base instead of, catering to the people that don't have time to play? Seems kind of dumb. Now there's one way I can see them doing this that I'm not a huge fan of, where maybe they let you buy the weapons with in-game currency or COD points, or they let you prestige to get them. Which is kind of treading into the Battlefield territory of you can grind to unlock all of the medic rifles, or you could just buy the medic short kit bundle and trivialize the entire progression system of the game for a quick buck, but whatever. I wouldn't like that, but I would still put in the time to prestige to get those weapons even if I could buy them with real money because 1, I'm saving money, and 2, it just gives me a reason to keep playing. Also, I think this might take a load off of them for post-launch content because if people know that they have a gun that's 10, 15 prestiges out, they're gonna want to work for it. They want to collect all the Modern Warfare guns. They want the Mini Uzi, they want the AA-12, they want the M16, they want the M21, that's just what they want. So instead of having to add in a whole lot of post-launch content and weapons, there's weapons that you have ahead of you, hours and hours of playtime ahead of you from the moment you load up the game. Even if there's just 4 weapons that you want and the rest you couldn't care about for whatever reason because you're not a true Call of Duty fan and you should probably be burned at the stake, fine. That's still gonna get you to prestige that many times in order to get those guns. There needs to be a carrot at the end of the prestiging stick, otherwise it's just a stick you beat yourself with for bragging rights. And Call of Duty keeps proving with each game that they're willing to add in a whole lot of post-launch weapons. Now, Infinite Warfare did it the best, but there's still so many weapons they're willing to add after the fact that they don't need to. They could just have 10 prestiges with 10 guns, and then later down the line when they add in more prestiges like most Call of Duty games do post-launch now, add in 10 more prestiges and 10 more guns. Do you know how much playtime the game would have if people knew they needed to prestige 10 more times to get 10 new guns? Prestiging takes hours upon hours of playtime. If you had like 1 million people across PlayStation and Xbox, you know, because that's going to be crossplay, you have 1 million of them just all trying to prestige 10 times because they want to collect all the weapons. Modern Warfare is going to be at the top of the most played charts, and then you can focus on your supply drop weapons or your battle pass weapons while still rewarding long-time grinders of the game. Because that's the thing. Call of Duty needs to reward the players that are willing to put in, you know, over 100 hours. The players that get home and then they grind the game for 6 hours, you might think, well, they're no lives, they're nobodies, but whatever, they're devoting their time to the game. They should be rewarded for that. And people might be more willing to prestige if there's a reward. Like, you might say, well, there's tons of people that don't even prestige. Well, why should they? What reason have they had to prestige? Bragging rights? If they're adults, they probably don't care about bragging rights. Put a gun on the end of it. Put an actual, tangible, gameplay-affecting thing at the end of that prestige. And maybe it's all novelty stuff. Maybe it's crossbows, ballistic knives, double-barrel shotguns. And worst case scenario, if it's just outfits, that would still be nice. A new outfit for each prestige would be nice as well. And they could be based off of Modern Warfare characters and stuff. Like, you look like Sandman, or you could look like Simon Ghost Riley if you get to 10th prestige. That would be awesome. But there needs to be a tangible reward for leveling up. Otherwise, after the first prestige, I don't think I'm going to go any further. I don't like prestiging in Call of Duty unless they're going to actively offer me something. If I know that if I prestige 10 times, I will net myself 10 new weapons to play with, even if they're from previous COD games that I've already seen in previous COD games, if I know I get 10 weapons for 10 prestiges, the only thing that's going to keep me from doing that is if I hate the game. Unfortunately, in Infinite Warfare's case, I was fatigued on the style of gameplay and I didn't get to max prestige. I just didn't. So maybe I sound like a hypocrite now that I said that, but I just couldn't get into another fast-paced 3D movement COD. So unless there's some deep flaws with the gameplay of Modern Warfare or some personal nitpicks that I have that keep me from playing, I'm going to play if there's a reward for playing. You might say, boom, that's not real content, that's just grinding. No, it's putting a reward at the end of the grind instead of the grind just being this optional arbitrary thing. Players that devote their time and their efforts into a game should be rewarded from that game. If you don't have the time to play, then I'm sorry, this conversation really isn't about you. It's about the Call of Duty players that try to get to 10th prestige every year. They try to grind it out every year because they love it. It's their favorite. I know it might be hard to believe, but Call of Duty does have fanboys. It does have people that love the gameplay, they love the style, they enjoy the hell out of it, and they deserve some actual recognition from the game when it comes to how much time they're willing to put in. So I'm done reiterating. I could have wrapped this video up in probably about 4 or 5 minutes, but I wanted to make my point clear and point some other things out. Either way, thank you guys for watching, and my next video will also be on a feature from COD Infinite Warfare that I think should be in Modern Warfare. IW did a lot of things right, and it deserves some recognition, and I will see you when I see you in that next video. Goodbye.
Oh, I was such a long shot too.
Ha, your baby's dead.
Alright.
I just murdered your baby. How do you feel?
Oh!
Butt plugins McNuggins over here.
Butt plugins McNuggins. What? What?
I got some too.
What?
Yeet!
Whoa!
Oh,
Why are
God,
both of you
what?
trying to blow me up? What the fuck?
Because I saw you.